Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's your man, Dame D, NYDC, host of the Two Mics Up Experience. When we move past the podcast, we're going to go to an experience. There's a lot of things that I really want to get to tonight. We trying some different things. We moving around and we shifting gears. But we're coming towards the end of season three. And season three, man, has been real dope. It's been fun. It's been an experience for me as well. Really just expanding my growth. Uh, Developing myself, expanding the platform, and right now, from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, I appreciate the love and the support. Uh, but before I get into tonight's conversation with my man who's going to be rocking with me tonight on the other mic, I just want to just take a few minutes just to talk about a few things as it relates to season three. Uh, Monday is our season three finale. We're going to be sitting down with actress Naomi Daniel Watts. Man, you've seen her on Lifetime. Man, she's an up and coming sister. Man, she dope conversation, hilarious. She's fun. Stay tuned to the end, man. She's gonna drop some bars, man. And if you haven't seen her or you don't know who she is, go check her out on IG. She the sister is just funny, man, and she's a true talent. And I look forward to the conversation. I hope you all enjoy it as well. Also, two mics up. We're all about news in the community and being a community connector. We're always committed to trying to create something great. Save the date, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. For those of you who don't know, National Harbor Top Golf Youth Empower Me Foundation. They're putting together a fundraiser. It's going to be a whole bunch of different events and prizes and different things going on. Man, it's really a great event. Check them out online, and also save your date. Coming in August 2022. The Virginia Black Business Directory is coming back. They putting together that expo, ladies and gentlemen. So get yourself together. They got an all-star lineup, man. We're going to be bringing them here on the show to kind of talk about the expo. So get yourselves together and come on out and support. And as you can now see, I'm here with tonight's co-host, my man, Big A Sam Adams. He's back again. You all probably are starting to get familiar and understand now that Sam is going to be kind of piloting and co-piloting with me here on these sports segments. So Sam, I appreciate you, bro, for taking time to sit here and have a little fun with me, man. Uh, how's everything? And just kind of reintroduce yourself to our audience.
Well, first off, Dame, I'm here for you. Uh, Secondly, what's up, everybody? This your boy Big A Sam Adams, U.S. Army retired sergeant first class, avid gamer, all around cook. Just your regular average guy out here having a good time.
Yeah, don't let him fool y'all, ladies and gentlemen, because he's not just some average. It's my man, like cook food. We've been rocking. If you've been watching and following along, we've been rocking for 20 plus, and I love this man like a brother. He is a brother, and a very valued member of my team and my inner circle. So I appreciate you, Sam.
I
And
appreciate you.
we here tonight, we talking about a little NBA action, right? And I think things have been, I guess, a little different this year.
Hmm.
And when I say that, I'm just going to throw it out there, man. We're going to jump in. We talking about, first of all, there's no LA Lakers, there's
Good.
no King James, no Dame Time,
Hmm.
and a lot of the familiar faces that we've become accustomed to seeing are not there. So first of all, I want to know what's your take on this year's playoffs first.
Well, so I'm thinking back to when we talked a little bit last year, and I'm just going to call it a changing of the guard. We
Okay.
were talking about that with some of our seasoned NBA players, the rookies that were coming on board, and everything. And just to look at where we are at now, like for me, I don't know about everybody else, but it's more or less like a breath of fresh air. You
Mm.
know, and I'm liking it because you we're starting to see some of the young talent that we were talking about earlier in the season show up and show out, like point
Mhm.
blank and simple. So, I mean, I'm really appreciative of how the playoffs is going, even how the regular season was going.
Mm.
Because there were some good matchups on both ends between the Eastern and Western Conference that had the opportunity to sit back and enjoy it. There's a lot of really good games going on right now. You know, you got Dallas and Utah battling in and
Yep.
out, young cats, and then you got Memphis and Minnesota young cats, and then you got some of those athletes or some of those NBA players that kind of like defected from the King James era that
Right.
migrated to other teams, and they're actually showing their work. New Orleans with Ingram,
Oh.
Caruso, the
Oh.
player that Lakers should have never got rid
Never.
of. You know,
Oh.
saying so like I said, I like it. I kind of had a feeling that that was going to be the outcome with these cats going to different locations, because now, you know, is I don't want to say it's kind of on them, but at the same time, like they're actually showing their worth. So
Yeah.
for me, it's kind of like what you're missing out on, you know, basically.
Yeah,
So
man, you kind of you called it on. You hit the nail on the head, and I agree. Um, it is a breath of fresh air to be able to see some of these young gunners really come out, really to establish themselves, and like to me, a lot of people were talking about the Boston Brooklyn series, and
yep.
you picked up one that that one wasn't the one for me. It's the Minnesota Memphis series.
Hmm.
And I said that from gate because I was like, Minnesota reminds me of Memphis, like
Yep.
how they were last year.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the most exciting one too, because of what you just spoke on. All of this young talent on both teams.
Yeah.
Cat is finally developing into a superstar in front of our eyes.
Hmm.
D'Angelo Russell's always been like I don't know what's held him back, but I always thought he was dope. But that boy Anthony Edwards, that boy he would dunk on his mama. And
Hmm.
now that he's got that outside shot, um, like they're mad scary, and a lot of people didn't talk about that. And I also want to take too, because I know what my take is too, and even what, and I'm just piggybacking off of what you said. With the playoffs and things like that, I know we coming to the end of an era, because like I want to be respectful of LeBron, because
Right.
he's not going to play forever,
Right.
and he is by far the most talented basketball player that I've had the pleasure to see.
Right.
But when I throw this question out, are things better or worse without LeBron? Piggybacking off of what we just said, I have to say yes. I think the future is brighter than ever
Hmm.
without LeBron.
Yes.
And you tend to agree.
Yes, absolutely. I look at it like wrestling, right? Because you
Mhm.
have your old greats, and it's good to see them every once in a while, but eventually it gets to the point like, why are they still out here? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like Undertaker or Stone Cold at 30 ain't the same Stone Cold that we see when he's like pushing 60.
Mm.
And I'm not saying that. I mean, LeBron is going to get his. We said that before. No
Mhm.
doubt. He on any given day, him being 36, about to be 37 years old, he could go out there and average 25 to 30 points a game. We know that he's going to do that. But at the same time, like it's to the point now that other teams is like, I'm gonna let him score. I'm gonna give him that 25, 30, because can't nobody else on the squad do anything. So
Right.
no, they're not concerned about him, being a threat, moving forward and going after the championship. And eventually it's going to get to the point that LeBron is going to be like, which one of these teams with all this talent, young talent, I could kind of squeeze myself into. And it's like I said before, who's going to want to play with him?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these teams, like they're moving just fine without him. And how would he incorporate himself with some of these squads and everything?
Those are some real dope points. 'Cause I don't know, because I think GM LeBron, we've seen GM LeBron fail.
Right,
Um,
absolutely. And I mean, this past season is a clear indication of it too.
yeah, he
I mean, we knew that going in, though. Like, I got it. You want to look out for your fellow friend. You know what I'm saying? But like, you unload everything
man.
for what? You know what I'm saying? A 6 man and Mello now, because that's basically what it is. But you want to
Right.
put him in the starting
Right.
five.
Right.
You've been seeing the past 3 years with Russ, like it hasn't gotten any better. And then
Right.
like you got three people who want the ball, three key people with
Three of them.
LeBron,
Yep.
LeBron, Russ, and Melo. Three
Yep.
key people that want the ball all the time. Like, how is that going to work out?
And even within in all of that big picture, right? So look, I got to like I remember them they posted the picture, early on Rondo,
Mm-hmm.
AD, Melo, Dwight Howard, you know, I call him Russ Westbrick, but I mean, because he can hit the shot clock. He know what the shot clock is. He know how to hit that from three. But
Mm-hmm.
looking at that big pic, that picture and that was created and designed to that team. And even what you said, even Melo, like really, he was really the only consistent. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he played his part. He was
Right.
the sixth man.
Right.
Uh, and I don't care how you cut it, injuries or whatever. Uh, I agree with you looking back and reflecting. Like Caruso, to me, without question, watching him and what he's doing in Chicago and what he did
Mm-hmm.
in the last couple of games in Chicago,
Yep.
like I know LeBron, man. I look, he
Sour.
you gotta be. You gotta be, bro. You gotta be. There's no way in hell that you're not.
Absolutely just sour. And it's just like, what's the saying? You never know you miss a good thing till it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's been doing that like all season until he got hurt by what's his name? Allen Grayson or
Okay.
Grayson Allen.
Yeah, Grayson Allen.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
Yeah.
don't like him anyway. That's a different topic.
Yeah.
But like he's been showing his worth. Kuzma was a hit or miss, and I really feel bad for Washington because I think I had them on one of my sleeper teams at the beginning of our conversation too. But Bradley Beal got hurt, which kind of like jacked things up with the Wizards. But I mean, like they were leading the East at one point in time.
Like a lot of we forget that
Mm-hmm.
that early on in the season, really maybe the first quarter of the season,
Mm-hmm.
they were like you said leading the East and in the top half. And
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I really feel that they really, at the end of the day, Washington got the better end of the deal.
Yeah.
Injuries and everything decimated them. I don't know what happened with the whole Spencer Dinwiddie. Uh, what's my man that they traded to Charlotte? Montrez.
Yeah.
Montrez had like to me, they were a team that could really make moves in the East. But even moving forward, with all that talent, KCP, Kuzma, Achimura. I mean, I don't want I want to say the young man's name. Rui is what they call him. Uh,
Okay.
Now having KP on board, I mean, he's not really the unicorn that he used to be.
No, not at
But
all. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's happening, my brother Leroy Brown? Thank you for joining us tonight, man. For all of y'all who don't know, Leroy's been on the show, yo. And I meant to actually bring his artwork. I'm gonna have to cut a commercial because this brother right here, man, he sent me, man, his calendar. Yo, I'm telling you, Sam, check this brother out, man. He right here in the DMV, man. This brother, he's dope. He's fire. He got some real great stuff.
All right,
But
for
thank
sure.
you again, Leroy, for joining us. But yeah, so with that, so now we talked about, LeBron not being in and how, I agree with you that the playoffs are better without him and the league is in good shape
Yeah.
moving forward. But this whole playing thing and this playing format, I don't even really want to get into the format, but I think it's fair to say this playoff play in was really created for LeBron and the Lakers when they first didn't make it when he first got to LA.
Right.
So I want to skirt past that because I think we all have varying feelings on why it was created. But now that it's here and it's been here for a couple of months, for a few years, um, you know, uh, hey, no doubt, man, you got it. Now that it's here, how do you feel? Like, should it be something that stays? Um, should we get rid of it? Go back to how things were. Like, what's your take on that?
I don't like the playing format, and it's just like you said, the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like one or two things going to happen. I mean, which they're kind of doing right now. They kind of got like that the playoffs, like how the like college football does. You know what I'm saying? Before they get to the championship and everything. Me personally, I mean, I could do without it because you have the top 8 there for a reason.
Right.
So why don't you just keep the top 8 and leave it alone right there? Like for me, it's unnecessary at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, like like who's to say in the next 2 years, like how the format is going to be, or like what extra, like are we going to have like a top 12 now and freaking 8 through 12 have their own mini playoff, and then you give the opportunity of 1 through 7, the rest are not. It's
Yeah.
I mean, Yeah, we're
I
kind of past that now.
I agree with you on that sense because I was like, if you're going to do that, then make the regular season really count. Maybe cut off about 12 games, 12 or
Hmm.
15 games. Shorten the length of the regular season, but make it count.
Yeah.
And I think put more emphasis on it that way because then too I look at it like sometimes you go to games. I've gone to games where I wanted to see somebody. Like I remember, being in New York, being a Knicks fan, and when Michael would come, even though I hated the Bulls, but hey, who didn't want to see Michael?
Hmm.
And back then they didn't do, that load management thing that we talk about. But
Yeah.
like in today's NBA, I would be pissed if let's say uh like Kawhi was coming here, to the DMV and I wanted to go see Kawhi
Hmm.
and that night he's off. But I'm
Yeah.
spending all this money. I mean, nothing wrong with the Clippers and all, but we talk about the Clippers here. I'm
Yeah.
only going because it's Kawhi.
And now
So
all of a sudden, they have a rest day.
yeah,
You know what
like
I'm saying? Like in air quotes, like
right. So the
I'm
play-in really doesn't do it for me either because you're making them play 2 or 3 extra games.
hmm
Shorten the season to make the games count,
right.
so we can see the players and even I think we talked about it before. Make the All-Star game count, kind of like baseball.
Yeah,
Whichever
whoever.
conference wins gets home court advantage.
Yep.
Then it really means something for everyone
Hmm.
to be more competitive. And
Right.
then we wouldn't probably be talking about playoff or play-in
Hmm.
playoffs.
Because at this point, everybody is just thinking about making it to the playoffs. I don't care
Right.
how my season is, just as long as we get into the playoffs, then we can sit here and wreck shop, right? But like at this point, I don't know. Like I said, it's I get it, and like to your effect, that will probably never happen just because of like the TV rights and everything
Well,
that's
well,
going on right
well,
now, and it could be worse. So for the NBA, and it's just additional revenue
yeah.
for the NBA as well. So for them, it's another a cash cow because it's additional games. It's like
Well,
what 3 to 4 extra games before you even get into the playoffs
true that.
that these folks are sitting here and making money. So just as long as the NBA see that there's some type of revenue in it, they're not going to get rid of it.
Yeah, and I didn't even look at the monetary,
Hmm.
and call me Dame, you slow because that should have been the first thing because then we probably we could throw this question out, to be
Right,
honest with you, because I mean money is always going to be the root of
right,
everything in every sport. Same thing with the NFL, add an extra week and all of that type of stuff.
right.
So yeah,
Now, I just thought about that, but at the same time, just think about it too. If the NBA in the next 2 years, let's say the next 2 years, the ratings are pretty good, like post LeBron, I guess you
Mhm.
could say. Maybe they could be like, you know what? Like, I know we had this play-in tournament and everything, but like, if we could get the elite top 8 in there, you know what I'm saying? Then moving
Yeah,
forward, that'd probably be something less that they worry about. But it's all about, uh, that once again, it's all about that cash cow. So if the
yeah.
ratings are up and if the numbers are good and the funding is there, then they're not going to sit there and worry about it. It's going to be all right.
Yeah. Now you bring up very very valid point. So I want to move you know as we are moving towards moving throughout the playoffs now.
Hmm.
We're seeing some great games. But I want to talk about maybe one or two underlying stories that maybe we I was talking about this at work with some guys and I wanted to kind of get your take about pressure
Right.
and who has pressure really to succeed and maybe carry their team to the finals. And the first one I want to start with, you know, is really like KD
Hmm.
and Harden. The whole Brooklyn saga that
Right.
that kind of really started and was at the core of the trade. But now that we've kind of moved and we're moving and advancing, which one of those two do you think really has more pressure on them to lead their team to the finals?
Uh, who? I was thinking about this for a minute, and
Mhm.
like I sat there and I was like, well, who doesn't have a ring?
Mm, mm,
For
mm,
me, that would be the key thing. And
mm,
I mean, uh, KD, he done showed his worth.
mhm.
You know, plagued with injuries, I think. And I would kind of like lean on James Harden for the simple fact that he's been sitting here bouncing, for a minute, trying to be on that team that would give him the best opportunity in order to win a championship at the end of the day. And he hasn't earned that. So for me, and like, look, you got probably, if not the MVP of the year, he's going to be like in second and third place. I know we're going to get to that in a minute. But you have this perennial team right here that you wanted to do. You said that you wanted to win. So you have to sit here and capitalize on this moment. So I think that when it comes to the pressure, that is more on James Harden than what it is on KD.
You know, I like what you said. I really do, and everything. I mean, it is because initially, when I first started kind of going through it, I do want to agree. At first, my first instinct automatically was James Harden, and a lot of it had to do with what you said. But I started thinking about it more, like, and really more so, like yesterday and today. Like the closer we got, you kind of really start digging in, and really, I kind of went the reverse, really for two reasons.
Okay.
One, because it's Brooklyn and it's New York, and the bright lights. I mean, look, it ain't Madison Square Garden. We're not talking about my Knicks. We trash right now. We struggling, but it still is New York. Brooklyn is look, and the reason why I say that when I watch them, they remind me because I'm from New York. I know what that look is where they walk into arena every night and they walk in like, yo, y'all, we here. And this in their mind, the way that they walk on the court and the way that they move, it's like they in their mind they already dictated that they won, but they haven't, because to me there's a disconnect with KD and Kyrie, and a lot of it I think is because they, with the pandemic and Kyrie kind of doing his thing, like they're off and they're not firing on all cylinders. There's no defense really, and I don't care. And I'm just gonna call it what it is. I've seen the Steve Nash style of ball with D'Antonio from Phoenix and New York. You're not gonna outscore everybody every night. You've seen that in Boston in the first two games. They're not gonna outscore everybody. There's a disconnect. There's no defense, and I think because of what you said, KD has already won a championship or championships, but now he's in a position to do it in Brooklyn under the lights. Not to say necessarily on his own, but really kind of establish himself to be in that conversation with the Michael Jordans, with the Kobe Bryants, and having multiple championships. I really had to now steer my comment and look at KD like, bruh, eventually the pimple gonna pop because y'all are not really delivering on what people thought 2 years ago when originally the three of them was going to be together.
My cat cussing me out right now. That's that meow.
Yeah, no, the cat is with me. The cat saying he's right. So the cat agreed with me. But I mean, that's where I turn to, and that's where I'm at. On that one.
I can understand, but at the same time, you said it's the Nets, not the Knicks. If it was KD up on that spotlight with Spike Lee on the court every doggone night and everything, and that vibe, because you might as well look at the Knicks like, that's the iteration of the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to Showtime, we're looking for Showtime. You go to the Knicks, and it's like the Empire State. Brooklyn done took over, and that's just because you look at the season. I think there were certain expectations for the Knicks, and they just haven't delivered up to it, which is unfortunate.
No, I said that we were a year ahead of time. What happened last year really was supposed to had happened this year,
right?
But because we were early, we regressed under the pressure. And look, I like Tibbs, but Tibbs is not he's not a young players coach. So there's a whole lot of things going on there. But Brooklyn, and I get what you're saying. If it was Madison Square Garden, more people, or like you said, more people might be on the bandwagon of KD.
Right.
I don't know. I just thought it was a great question because it was split down the middle in the office.
Yeah, but I mean, think about what you said too. Like, you had a part-time player in KD until like the second half of the season. You still got somebody, Mr. Simmons. Like, will we see him come game 3 or 4? Maybe, maybe not. Is he going to have an impact? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? I would think with the amount of, there's some talent that they got in that trade from Philly.
Oh, without question.
The issue that we have is more of the coaching that's going on in Brooklyn. Because half the time we just see doggone Steve Nash with his arms folded up on the sidelines and everything. And it's no disrespect to him as a player, but like he kind of got inherited a team. And I think that his expectations, this might be me, this is just my opinion, of like the work ethic that he had to literally put in there in reference to coaching. I think that he was looking at that it was going to be a minimum because he
Look,
really hasn't done anything.
I
You
have
know
to
what I'm
agree.
saying?
No
Like
disrespect.
you kind of playing this cat scat offense. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like you saying, is there truly a team out there that's playing any real defense? And I would say no, because
No.
each game is rolling into like the mid 110s to
Right.
130, you know,
Right.
on both sides. So there's really no defense going on, period. However, like Brooklyn has to compensate something
Yep.
because like they officially until if Ben Simmons could come back 80 to 95% good, and actually since his key is like, look, if I'm KD, I don't even shoot the ball.
No.
Like pass that bad boy. You know what I'm
Pass and
saying?
rebound. Pass and
I
rebound. That's
just
it.
need you to lock down doggone James
Yep.
Harden, not lock down
With
uh
Tobias.
yeah, Tobias,
Tobias.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Just lock him down. Play that D, toss it to me or Kyrie. We'll take care of everything else. You know,
Hey,
and
hey,
until that happens, you know, this is where we're gonna stand.
in an ideal world, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. And me personally, just watching like the first two games, and I said this to my buddy. We were watching the game. Like it was Sunday or whatever it was, a Saturday.
Right.
And the first game, game one, I was like, look, it's simple to me. Now I watch Drummond roll to the hole and roll to the basket for dunk after dunk after dunk after dunk, and really be a defensive. I wouldn't say stopper, but he was a defensive force on the rebound on the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
Now, me, I'm not a professional NBA coach, but
Right.
I'm smart enough. I played and watched enough basketball. I'm like, so why are we putting Drummond on the bench? Why are we trying to match up small with Boston when Drummond and our big lineup is on the floor? We're dominating.
Right.
I don't know. Call me stupid. But like you said, I seen that Phoenix style of basketball in New York when
Mm-hmm.
D'Antonio was there, and like you
Right.
said, the way Nash stands, he got D'Antonio. I mean, he's got his whole posture and everything. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
we just roll the ball out. You guys go ahead and play.
And that
So
shit plagues D'Antonio from Houston too, because he
of
was
course,
playing small ball,
of
got rid
course,
of damn near every big that they
of
had
course.
down there. You know what I'm saying? And they had to deal with that. That could be another reason why doggone James Harden, he was like, I ain't doing this shit again. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? You could be right. We don't know, but
Yeah,
there was a huge
absolutely.
disconnect with those three. We don't know. They were the
Yep.
only ones there. So you could
Hmm.
be right. So look, I want to go ahead and take a quick pause for the cause, ladies and gentlemen. I want to go ahead and run a quick commercial, and we'll be right back after the break. All right, everybody, what's up? We back. Your man Dame D NYDC. Rock with me on the second mic tonight. My man Big Sam, chilling, and we just cutting it up. I see some of you out there. People hit me up too. Yeah, we doing something a little different tonight. This ain't no Facebook Live tonight. I'm trying to wean y'all off. We're gonna be moving to YouTube and Roku into a Roku network for season 4. So I'm kind of trying to wean you off. I've been hitting people up in the break. So come on in, make yourself comfortable. Get ready for the new format, and I'm gonna start pumping that out uh, as the summer goes on. But now that we're back, we talked a lot, and you mentioned it in the first half. Um, and one of the other questions that we talked about pressure,
Mhm.
and we're going into talking about the MVP, but it just dawned on me too. One other person like really stands out that I wanted to get your take on, because I think this brother, man, he's one of the best point guards that we've ever seen. Dribble a basketball. And I just want to know for you, like, CP3, is it pressure or failure? Like, he's finally made it to the finals last year. And I
Mhm.
don't want to call it a choke, but Drew Holiday really put the lockdown on him and Booker.
Put the clamps on them
Yo,
bad
he
boys.
put the lack he put, and that's almost impossible or
Mhm.
unheard to say. But CP3, like, if he doesn't, not even say that, let's say he gets to the finals.
Right.
But is it a failure, or is it just the pressure, whatever it may be with him, that if he doesn't win a ring, because that class is coming to an end. Him, LeBron, Carmelo, like that class is coming to an end.
I don't know if it will be. That's tough. I wouldn't call it a failure. And like we said before, like, yeah, all credit to CP3 and the time that he spent in Phoenix, the time that he was in Charlotte and Houston with the Clippers. Like he's I don't know. I guess you would say that it would be a failure because some of that he actually had good squads to go with him. And that shit just like rolled in my
Yeah,
head. Like,
look, shit. I'm not gonna lie, shit. Like real talk, because we was I did this like you. Then after I was like, yo, but hold on, LA. I mean, we
yeah,
talking about Live City. He went to
yep,
Houston, man. Him,
yep,
Harden, Capella, like that
yep,
whole run. Then here it is. I mean, look, when we leaving out OKC, we leaving out
yep.
New Orleans when he was there. I mean,
He
and that,
he's had plenty of opportunities to make it to get over that hump that he's failed to, and then we got to look at it with Devin being getting hurt.
yeah,
Like, is that even going to happen? Is he going to pull? Are they going to pull out of this first round
right,
against the Pelicans?
right.
And it's like, ugh, I don't know, because the Pelicans was looking mighty damn hungry, and Zion just itching to get on the
I
court.
mean,
So,
right now he about to hurt somebody. He about to go to
mhm,
jail because he ready. He busting
yeah,
at the seams to get out.
like, who
And
do I need to dunk on to show y'all that
you
I'm ready to
understand?
go ahead and get this started?
Look,
And
man, for
them
real.
boys ain't playing. So going into this season, I felt like this was kind of going to be like a redemption. Uh, this was going to be the redemption season for Phoenix.
Hmm.
So I feel like it is kind of a make or break for, especially the way that Chris Paul was ranting at the end of last season for that
Right.
max deal to get that guarantee 4 mil. So
Yep.
even with Devin Booker being gone, like them games that you had last year when you were knocking out 41, 48 points, like we need your ass to do that these next couple of games against the Pelicans. Make it out the first doggone round. You know what I'm
Period.
saying?
Yep.
Like you're gonna have to keep that going. So
Yep.
uh I think that if they don't make it, like we're going to kind of like cease that noise and you know Phoenix going to be like the Green Bay Packers. They're going to show up every year. Everybody think they're going to do something
Yep.
just to be let down, and
Look.
like, what we going to do after that? And it's like we said, it's just so much. I mean, on both ends, like I feel like this season could go either way. Like
Yeah.
everyone that we had or that you could think about to be up in the forefront, like you might as well just toss it out the window. And like I
Yep.
wouldn't be surprised if the Pelicans actually sit here and beat them
I
or beat
agree.
Phoenix.
I agree.
You know, they were shutting down shop with Devin Booker in the game.
You
So
understand? Yep.
I mean, it could be tricky, but like I kind of feel you're right because you think about it, and he's kind of like he's still chasing something,
Yeah.
and like eventually we got to get to the point that who's going to want like a 38-year-old point guard?
and that's really like, and like I said, the question is kind of hit me. Today when we were talking about it, and I just wanted to throw that in
Mhm.
because I was like, you're right. Like for me, and I'm just gonna say just like this here, like things are just not adding up. The more I think, I'm thinking Lob City, I'm thinking Houston, I'm thinking,
Mhm.
look, we done throughout New Orleans because again, we've had the pleasure of watching him excel for so long.
Right.
We forget. Um, but my mind is like, okay, so I used to call him flat tire because every time the playoffs came, it seemed like for the last 7 or 8 years he got hurt either right before the playoffs or in the playoffs. Then
Mhm.
last year, was to me was like this was prime
Best.
time for him. That was it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
then Coach Bud over there in Milwaukee said, hold on, we're gonna stop this here. Drew go put the clamps on him. He put the clamps on him and Book. So I'm
Yep.
like, this year, I mean, they came out like you said, they came out with the noise. They came out. They're trying to drive it home. But like you said, now that Book is hurt, I don't know. And like to me, like this might be his last shot. And
Yeah.
for me right now, all in all, it's a failure. If
Mhm.
he doesn't, making it to the finals is one thing, but if he doesn't win, the chip this year, I think it's a failure.
Yeah.
So all right, well, I thank you for this kind of playing that one through with me because that one had me fucked up too because I was
Yeah.
trying. I was
Like I was gonna have a little empathy for him, but I was like.
like,
I'm like, hold the hell on. Like, wait a minute. Like, this dude done had like so many like all
opportunities,
star.
also the squads.
Yeah, when he was with the Clippers doing the doggone Monstars with
Hmm.
DeAndre Jordan,
Hmm.
him, Kawhi, like loaded, like
They were low.
yeah,
They were NBA championship ready then,
yeah,
but it never happened. So talking
mhm,
about that, then moving into we talk about championship usually around the NBA finals. We'll start. We're already hearing the NBA or the MVP, excuse me,
mhm,
chatter that's already starting to take place, and we know who the three finalists are.
right.
And I just want to know for you, of these three, who the winner is because a lot of times I really find politics. I think this year politics is going to play a lot into who wins, but I want to get your take on who's taking home the MVP this year.
Whew, man, I mean, it's going to be close. I'm gonna go with Joel. I
Okay.
think I think Joel got it this year. Uh, even though Joker is leading in two of the top categories,
Yeah.
if I remember correct. I
Hmm.
think Embiid only leading as far as points per game, right?
Right. Right.
Uh, oh, that's gonna be tough. I'm clamped down. I'm hunker down. I'm gonna say Embiid. I think that he
So.
has it this year. Even though he's probably at the point now, like I'd rather get that chip
Yep.
uh, than the MVP. Like this
Yep.
doesn't mean anything. So I mean, I think it's going to go towards him. I think it's going to be close, like super close as far
Mhm.
as like voting and everything.
Right.
But I think Embiid got it.
So I'm going to piggyback on because I agree with you. I'm not going to say Embiid's got it. I think Embiid clearly deserves it.
Hmm.
Um, for an MVP to me, and everybody can say yeah, scoring points or whatever, but I think he did the most to uplift the players around him
Yep.
this year.
Yep.
Yes, he put up points, but I think he led the charge and his teammates understanding, yo, this dude going hard. He
Hmm.
going hard for us every night. And it really uplifted those around him. With everything going on with Ben Simmons and all the background noise and everything that was going
Yeah.
on, he really elevated himself and his team. And to
He
me,
even
that's
said, I ain't even worrying about that. Like we moving
right,
forward. Like
right. So and
we
this is
go
how this
we
works.
gonna keep on hooping.
So all of that leadership, everything. Now I preface it by saying I think it's going to be politics, and I think just because Embiid is not an NBA fan favorite, I don't think he's an NBA writer favorite. I don't think he's an NBA voter favorite. I think that's going to undermine him, and I have a feeling that Joker's going to walk away with it. Um, and
Yeah.
and I agree with you though. In the big picture of things, I think MB will be happy to give that MVP up and walk away with the trophy this year.
Hmm.
And I think that's really where his eyes are because
Yep.
this is some of the things that I haven't heard him, and I don't want to knock him. I don't want to give him backhanded slap. But I think he's mature now because I think in the past you would have heard some chatter from him about what people are saying in the MVP race.
Right.
This year is the first time like he seems focused on his team and
Hmm.
what he can do to win and be there for his team. So I'm with you, like you said. I think he's focused on the championship and not the secondary MVP of the league trophy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I
So
mean, I'm not no argument right there. I think we're kind of sleeping on Giannis though. Well, not really sleeping.
no,
I mean, I think he's in the right spot. Like he's still in that talk, so I'm not going to negate that from him. But like, I really think like it's a toss up between Embiid and
look,
Joker.
if I could be honest with you, out of the three, I mean, Giannis has established himself and proven himself and finally gotten to the pinnacle.
Yeah.
And just looking at what the Bucks have or what they've had and what they've gone through, I think he deserved it when he won it. And I'm not diminishing what he's done this year,
Yeah.
but after winning, I think not. I won't say that they plateaued, but they've been steady all year.
Hmm. Yeah.
Where when I look at the other two, I think they definitely did a little bit more to elevate those around them. Uh, Even though Denver didn't have as good of a record as it had last year, I think Joker still does do a lot of things from a big man position that we haven't seen in so long.
Hmm.
That elevates others around him. But I mean, look, Embiid is just the dude. I think he the man. This
Right.
year.
Hmm.
So, moving forward, then we talking about we getting closer to talking about championships. And the West, man, the West stays stacked, right? And
Right.
we talked about it a little bit earlier. Now I want to kind of get into a little bit more. So does Phoenix really rise from the ashes again and make it back to the finals, or do you, for you specifically this playoff, do you see another team coming out of the West maybe knocking Phoenix off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean,
Oh.
it could be Memphis. It could be Memphis, depending on Luca.
Okay.
And if he comes back to Dallas, even though they're holding down their own against Utah, because you
Mhm.
brought up DeWillow,
Yep.
and he's been a huge asset between him and Brunson. Brunson
Yep.
really been filling
Whew.
in the
He been out of this
absence
world. He
of
been out
Luka
of this
getting
world.
hurt.
Yeah.
So there's so many other styles that could keep that type of tempo against Phoenix that they're a threat against Phoenix. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So like uh I think we talked about it earlier. It really is going to really depend on I think they said Booker might be out 2-3 weeks.
Hmm.
So if he's out of the count for the majority of the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? Like, can we rely on Chris Paul to put this team on his back and push them forward, into the NBA championship finals?
Right.
My honest answer is no.
Hmm. See,
Phoenix isn't going to be. Phoenix can't do it without Book. I'm just going to put that out there right now because he brings a different style of play.
yep.
It's fast pace.
Yep.
It's up tempo, and
Yep.
like he likes that running gun style. And if you're going up against a Ja Morant and them young cats over there at Memphis, shit's going to be a wrap. Don't nobody play this old school ISO triangle
Lord,
offense type of ordeal anymore.
Lord,
Like John
Lord.
Moran to jump from the 3-point line just to yoke a ball right quick. So
Yo.
I can't. If
Yo.
Book was healthy, I would be like okay, but how they talking, and we never know because things
Mhm.
can happen. But at this point, I don't see. Like I said, we're just going to be gearing up for next year, and we got to be taking bets all over again
Yeah.
on who's going to be making it, who's going to be pushing forward during the Western Conference Finals.
Right.
And like, yeah, Phoenix just not it right now, unfortunately.
I ain't going. I'm not even going. I'm just piggybacking because we had last week we were originally having this conversation. Things came up, so we
Hmm.
pushed it tonight. So hindsight is 2020, and it's like you said. Originally, looking at it, I was like, well, Phoenix is probably right now they were the odds-on favorite when we first started this discussion.
Yep.
We've had a week. has progressed, and now we can look at and know. Okay, once I heard Book was hurt, I was like, okay, and they talking about well, he might see when you get might, and then you start extending out towards the end of a round.
Hmm.
That ain't good. And I'm like you, like I don't see much else when you have to start digging into their bench and putting players in to positions that are not normally their rotation.
Right.
Um, I just don't see it, and I think that really depletes their bench more so than helps their starting five. So in the bigger scheme, like you said, to progress through the next couple of rounds, because the Pelicans is giving them hell, like you said.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So to progress through the next round or rounds, I just think it gets more difficult the
Hmm.
longer that Book is
Yeah.
out. And I'm with you. I don't see Phoenix making it back to the finals this year, unfortunately. But I think it's going to be interesting who does come out of the West because there's so much talent, uh, that's going on, and they really at each other's throats out in the West. So it's going to be interesting.
It's
And
really a toss up, and then like I said, that's why I think that I don't know for some straight because like I'm into basketball, but I'm not into basketball like that. Like
Mhm.
normally, I just look at like highlights and be like, oh damn, okay, But like this seat, like I've been watching, literally sitting down and flipping between, your big three with TNT,
Right.
ESPN, and NBA TV, looking at the games and everything and checking them out. Like it's some real good it's some good game. It's good games that are the matchups are there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We don't you if the Lakers were in there, everybody be barking about don't sleep on the Lakers and yada
Right.
yada
Right.
yada.
Right.
But
Right.
we don't have that factor right now. So it's really anybody's game right now.
It
It's
really is.
anybody's opportunity to sit here and move forward. So that's what I appreciate about it.
No, you hit that on the head, and that this year I agree. To me, that's the biggest factor coming out of the West. Like we are not hearing about if LeBron or what LeBron or what the
Hmm.
we're not hearing that narrative. We're talking about fresh young talent and teams that are really going at each other in the West. And I don't want to sleep, man. Like even in the East, like let's keep it real. Like the
Hmm.
East has gotten better. I
Right?
mean, hell,
Oh,
the
absolutely.
the defending champs are
Yeah.
coming out of the East. But I wanted to ask the same question. We talk about talent and depth and things that are going on, but do the Bucks, are they coming back to the finals, or do you think another team out of the East is going to go ahead and knock them off their throne this year?
I would say yes because there's like one main team that we're really not talking about,
Mm.
and I'm just going to say Jimmy Buckets.
you know, and it's funny you say I have a coworker who, uh, from talking with you, takes your position,
Hmm.
and I'm going to say one thing. I I used to like Jimmy Buckets. I
Hmm.
really did. Two things for me, and I want to be very gracious in this. I have a problem with Antonio Brown type players who
Hmm.
all of a sudden just snap and like how you want to fight your coach in the
Right.
middle of a game.
Oh
There's
yeah,
passion, I get passion. And then
yeah.
there's cuckoo
You're
for
right.
cocoa puffs. And I understand we all have breaking points.
He did.
Uh
He did.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So for me, it just kind of look. I think he's a phenomenal player, and I was a big fan of his before. But it kind of turned me off, and I say that only because when you do that, and that wasn't even the big lights, that wasn't the bright lights. That was you guys was fighting for the number one and
Hmm.
all of that. So if you could do that to your own coach, like to me, then you would snap and quit on your team. If
Right.
things got to, and that's just me again. I look at things a little bit differently, but I'm like, yo, that's a dude that I don't want with me. Now you could
Right.
argue with me as a teammate.
Hmm.
But when you saying to the coach, yo, you want to fight? Let's fight. Like,
Yeah.
bro, what is you smoking? Like, you and Antonio Brown been hanging out? Like, what's going on, bro? Like, so I'm not with the Miami move,
Right.
but I will say now that again, injury, Chris Middleton going down for Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Now
That's
to
pretty vital.
that was huge because I thought last season in their playoff run, there was a couple of games when they were playing New Jersey that
Hmm.
Chris Middleton can take over a game
Oh yeah.
and get you buckets.
Yeah.
And
He literally. What was it? Two games.
yeah, he
Two
did,
key games.
and he took over.
Yeah.
So, but now not having him, I think, and I say this lovingly. I've said this to a couple other my Milwaukee has the best three that are not the big three or any big three in the NBA. When you have Middleton, Drew, and Giannis on the floor together, that's the best three in basketball.
Right.
Period. But now without that, I think it's going to be very difficult now. And I even had to change my pick now that Middleton is hurt for who's coming out of the East.
And I guess we're gonna talk about that next, right?
Yeah, because I just want to know. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this one on home with this one here. So in the finals. In the finals. So I'm gonna ask you, Sam, your picks, your choices, and give me your breakdown on the finals matchup.
Shit, I need to let me go back to my test. I know on the West, I got Golden State. And the only reason why I say Golden State is because them jokers having fun right now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna stick with the Heat. I understand how your resentment with Jimmy Buckets is going, but at the same time, like there's still other talent on that team that he's the one who needs to show up every day. But there's other players, as far as like Harrow and Obadiah and everything that's doing what they need to. However, and I got my comma in bold print. You know what I'm saying? There's a team that's giving Brooklyn a little hell right now.
Yes.
Like you can never count Boston out. Like I like Boston. I like Subway sandwiches ambassador. Tatum, you know what I'm saying? I like that kid.
Keep it fresh, Subway. Okay.
Jaylen Brown, like them dudes, like they are aggressive and they're showing no remorse to KD and Kyrie. So my issue is if they're being disrespectful towards these jokers, like which is like two of the top perennial players in the league, like how are they going to treat everybody else? So that's who if they beat Brooklyn, who's going to want to go up against Boston?
Not many.
And I can tell you, not a damn team in the East is going to be ready to line up. If Milwaukee still had Middleton, they'd be like, all right, we want that smoke.
Yeah.
They ain't got that boy right now.
So
you kind of like stuck. Like, ain't nobody going to be as aggressive as what these dudes, like they are being truly disrespectful to Mr. Kevin Durant.
Yeah, they being told they bully. They back you up bullying right now. They
scored him and Kyrie scored 15 points. What was it, last night or the night before?
The night before,
15 points in the second half.
Yeah.
Locked them down. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I'm going with the Heat. I'm not sleeping on doggone Boston though.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why I picked Golden State is because I think they're back to that fun ball style that they were used to playing, especially since Klay Thompson, aka Jackie Moon, done came back. You got Steph not even starting.
Okay.
Because what's young?
That boy Poole.
Yeah,
man.
He's coming in scoring 18 to 20 something points a game, and you still giving Steph the opportunity to score 30 off the bench.
Yep.
Like, what is that? What are we doing right now?
It's
so
crazy.
Bonkers. So that's the main reason why I picked Golden State, because they are back to what we were seeing before that led them to 3 other championships.
Yeah.
So, and with Devin Booker out,
the
Nuggets, like there's a lot of pressure on Joker right now.
Yeah.
And he's playing with fumes right now. Like I really feel bad for him because I know how bad he wanted, but he just doesn't have the. He's probably looking at all these other teams and like, damn, like
why can't I have that?
Yeah, where's my supporting cast?
Why can't I get that?
Utah and Donovan Mitchell is just a shell of themselves.
Yeah,
Rudy Gobert.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, you're right.
But them dudes, like I said, that 4 and 5 seed, that's always tricky. But because I'm a Texan, and that's the only I have to go for the Mavericks. But I like what the Mavericks have done. I like what Jason Kidd has done.
Without question.
And how, don't get me wrong, I love Rick Carlisle. Like the whole time Rick Carlisle been a coach for Dallas, they've been a plus 500 team. Mm-hmm. So I will never take that away from him. But I think that there's just a different level of respect that Jason
Agreed.
Kidd is receiving,
Agreed.
and I think that the players are actually receiving whatever input that Jason
I
Kidd
agree.
has too.
I agree.
He developed Luka a little bit better,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't see them going that far. But like I said, Golden State and Miami with an
Okay.
asterisk right there because, like
Okay.
I said, they'll look out for Boston. I
Hey,
mean, look
look,
out for Boston.
look. I like that. You know, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'll flash that one more time because you know Sam went and I didn't put the asterisk. You know, in the clip. I should have. But Sam is rock with that, and I think that those are two very good or excellent because I can see both of them coming out of their respective division. I think that would be a hell of a finals matchup. Just to
Mhm.
be honest with you, you know, a lot of people, you know, Robinson and Hero and what Jimmy Butler does. And let's not you look, my man Mike Lowry, coming out of I'm thinking of Bad Boys, but what's his name? Lowry, they picked him up. They picked him up from Toronto
Yeah.
to really stabilize their backcourt has been huge.
Mhm.
And I can see just from a defensive standpoint, they're a bunch of pit bulls down there. Like no shade, like they go hard on the D.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a great matchup of offense and defense and really transition. Because both teams really are very good at transition basketball. But for me, I'm gonna go a little bit different because I do like I probably changed this like 5 times. Like I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
Only in the sense that like watching because like really honestly I tell you like I had Kansas City, I had Minnesota coming out the West. I really did
Mm.
because
Okay.
it was just something about them like watching them because I really started watching them more the last month and I can see that a light hat went off with them. You know, Cat had really figured out like who he is as a big man.
Mhm.
D'Angelo kind of really fell into the groove of directing traffic and spacing on the floor. And Edwards, man, just really he found that stroke from deep. Now
Yeah.
everybody can't pound or pack the paint because they know he's gonna come down and try to dunk on you every time. Now that he's created 3 levels really where he can take you from deep, he can get you on the mid range, and he can take you to the basket. I was like, man, yo, these dudes like, and their bench is pretty solid. So I
Mhm.
was like, you know, these dudes are really starting to click. And I was like, you know, this is Memphis of last year. Then I said, well, hold on. Like again, when you have a week's time to kind of watch things and watching them like last night, I mean, when you blow 2 25-point leads,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, they're young. So I had to smack myself last night, like, Dame, look, this stop. Who you fooling? So what I did was, and even in the East, because I was between Boston and Brooklyn, because
Okay.
I was going to go ahead and let the Brooklynites turn on the lights, but then watching Boston shut off the lights
Twice.
twice, right? I said, all right, Dame, stop. Like, who you
Not
fooling?
once, but
Right,
twice.
twice, right? Who you fooling?
I'm about to say game 2, doggone Brooklyn had like a 14-point lead,
Yeah,
and I blinked
yeah,
my eyes and I was like,
it's
Boston got
gone.
the lead now?
Yeah, it
Like,
was
damn,
on.
what's happening?
It was gone. And like you said, like look, I hate to use this phrase, but it was like, yo, they's beating on a $2 whore, like she stole money, like you know. And I mean, it's just bad. It's just bad. So I really kind of went through and just really looked at matchups, right? So for me, I was like, if Memphis can really show its mettle, because this is really what the playoffs is all about. They went through growing pains last year, and if really in the first round, if they can show their mettle and really show that they have the tenacity to be down, come back, fight through, go back, fight through some more, and come out on top. I was like, you know what, Memphis, I can see them making it too. Now we know Book is going to be out for a while in Phoenix, but they
Mhm.
still have to get through your choice, Golden State. And I was
Right.
like, you know, but I think they can because there's just something about them that they're fearless. So I'm going to take fearless, young and fearless coming out of
Mhm.
the West, and in the
Okay.
East, the team that really has the MVP. I was like this dude. I watched him knock down a 3-pointer to walk off in Toronto after the year before when Kawhi did the same thing. So I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and go. Let's make this a fun matchup. I want to go with the 76ers and the Grizz coming out of the West. Now I know this is going to be hard as hell because both of these teams, when I'm realistic about it, they do have huge flaws.
Right.
They can get these 2 teams probably are the 2 most teams that when they go cold, cold is cold.
Mm.
They can't hit the ocean, and that's the only scary part. But defensively, I think spread across the board, um, I think. Hey, look. So and that's really the problem, Leroy. Like, so I hope Josh stay healthy too, because he got Embiid-ism. Because Embiid has a thing about hitting the floor too, and Ja has to realize that at 6 foot and 120 pounds soaking wet, it's great that you can jump over everybody, you can jump through everybody, but ask Derrick Rose what happened to his knees and his body after that pounding that he took early on in his career. Because D Rose
Knees,
was,
ankle,
you,
back.
you understand what I'm saying? So, but Ja is exciting. And I just, like I said, when I watch them, like, there's no fear in that squad. And I look at their bench, and Bain, Jackson,
Mhm.
all of them young boys, man. I just think the sky's the limit, but they got to get through this first round, and I think they can do it.
So I understand Memphis
Mm-hmm.
because Memphis has showed their mettle without Ja even being in, especially
True,
towards the tail end of the
true,
season. Like they were like, we can still ball against like perennial
true.
teams, and we don't even like he's just a bench warmer for us right now.
Right,
And we're
right.
still scoring like 20, 30 points
Yep,
plus
right.
against teams, certain teams or
Mhm.
whatever. The only issue that I have with your pick with Philly is just what they sacrificed
Mhm.
to get doggone James Harden,
Yep.
and it kind of emptied out their bench because you don't have Seth Curry there anymore. You don't have uh, Patty Mills was picked up
Yeah,
by, but
but he.
there's a couple of key players that was part of Philly's bench.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That
So
they don't have there anymore. So it's
I
going to be
agree.
a little bit challenging, like down the stretch.
Mm.
When they start playing, like when you get into those top tier teams,
Mhm.
like are they going to have the bench to
So
suffice like a whole series against like another top tier team per se?
I went through this, and so here's what Dame came to the conclusion of. So we're playing it. We've lived through a pandemic.
Hmm.
We've lived through a crazy presidency, turmoil. So I'm bringing that to the NBA. Guess
Okay.
James Harden has got rid of the fat suit over the last 2 months from the time he's left Brooklyn and
Okay.
and came to Philly, and he's gotten into better game shape. And he's been very irregular, I guess, for him, and erratic. He's
Yeah.
been having stat lines kind of like tour dates,
Yeah.
like 4-22-12, and you
Hmm.
know, it's the setup. James Harden against top tier, he's going to come in and show up and show out, and he's going to be putting up triple double like numbers. It's not even going to make a difference about the bench. And I'm putting that on air tonight.
Okay.
I'm
Like
calling it.
I understand how you feel.
Calling
I totally understand how you feel. However, comma, bold text, italics, and everything else. Like you gonna need a little bit more than that. Just maybe just a smidge. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody else is going to surprise you. Tobias,
I'm waiting to see it.
somebody's going to surprise you.
I
I
mean, and you could be right, but like I just don't like we said. Like how is a Philly team going to be up against them boys from Boston?
uh, you know, I just think if they play to their strengths, because now the only thing with Boston, if the young boy, what's the big Williams,
Hmm.
that plays the post for them,
Yeah.
if he comes back, or if he's even at 60%, I think that'll make it competitive for MB. But when I look at matchups, and like, again, me this playing coach, I want to
Mhm.
dominate the inside. I want to make the game slow if I'm Philly.
Right. Hmm.
I want to go ahead and play from inside out, because you have that strength. I don't see anybody in the post that's going to really stop Embiid. And again, if Tobias can get hot, if they give James enough space to where Embiid can get it in the post and he can kick it back out, and James can get an open three, or he do his Euro hop step walk 3-point shot. I just think, just in that, I think they have enough on the defensive side to deny Boston I'm not gonna say they're gonna stop them, but I think they can do like what Boston did against New Jersey. Sometimes it just takes that one stop
Right.
to change the game. And
Mhm.
I just think from a defensive standpoint, I think Philly does have enough in a tight situation to get that one stop. And I just think their offensive firepower. And again, I'm betting on James Harden. I'm betting on
Okay.
MVP James to
Gotcha.
show up, leave the fat suit at home and come show up and make the difference. But it's a toss up in the East because I like your I like look. I'm not sleeping on Miami. I'm definitely not sleeping on uh, Boston because I think right now they probably showed the best uh,
Mm.
uh, of all phases of the game.
Yeah.
But again, it's round one, and they might be beat down and beat the hell up by the time they get
Get
to
gassed out when it comes
yeah,
time to
yeah,
make it to.
yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
yeah. So
I mean, in all, I'm really appreciative of the East
yeah,
because normally when it comes to you'll have like your top four teams, right? And then you might have like one or two teams that's like
yeah,
500 right on the
yeah,
dot,
yeah.
and then everybody else is like sub 500 or
Mhm.
trash. So it's like you already know, like that one seed and that eighth seed is going to be a wrap. So
Mhm.
at least this season has been really competitive in the East, and we haven't seen that in such a long time.
Okay.
Like even when it came to the number one spot, it was a toss up. One minute it was Boston, then the
Yep.
next minute it was Miami, then you
Yep.
had Milwaukee, and then Philly was in the running
Mhm.
for that number one seed.
Yep.
So I like that hunger that was there because we haven't seen that
Agreed.
literally in like
Agreed.
years, as far as like the competition. So I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree, and I look forward to seeing how the rest of this season plays out. I look forward to kicking it with you again. We'll put something together for the summer, man. It's been an amazing conversation today, bruh. As always, I appreciate you sitting here, jumping on the mic with me and rocking
Absolutely.
with me tonight. Like I said, we changed up the format a little bit tonight. I'm trying to wean people off, and I'm gonna go ahead and start pushing this out a little bit more. We'll start seeing more of the Grind City TV logo. Where you're gonna catch two mics up. We're gonna be in the hot spot for season 4. We're gonna be rocking on Monday nights.
Mm.
Monday nights, 8 p.m. Grind City TV network. For those of you who have Roku devices, you can check us out on the Roku network. But we'll also have other ways that you can watch it. We'll still be here on our YouTube channel. So stay tuned for more information regarding that. And before we go, Sam, is there anything you want to share or say, man, before we go ahead and sign off and sign out?
I don't have much. Of course, it's always a good time to be with, one of the most illustrious hosts that I know. And if anybody want to follow me, y'all can check me out on Facebook. I'm on Twitch, Steam, and Discord, Osarge Gaming, OLDSARGE Gaming, GAMING. Like I said, I'm pretty well rounded into that community. In my spare time, I like to just stream games or, just get out there and decompress.
Hmm.
That's my little zen moment.
Right.
After a hard day's work and everything, even though I'm not working as much as I used to since
Well,
I'm
man.
retiring.
Yeah, I want to live. I want to live in your light.
But if you want to come and hang out, just shoot me a DM, and I play everything from RPGs, not too much sports games, but I gets down with it, fighting games, FPSs, and stuff like that. So come check me out. Fall of this year, be looking out for Osarge Q. Got a couple of days in the work with that.
Okay.
More details to follow, but
All right.
that's looking pretty promising.
Okay.
So that'll be coming soon too. So just be on the lookout and just making these
We here,
moves.
man. Yeah, y'all heard it here. We're gonna make sure when these things and these moves start becoming more into fruition. You got a home, man. You can come here. We talk about it, man. We chop it up. Love to talk about it. I guess I need to get my gaming self back into gaming. I ain't gamed in a while, but yeah, I might have to get back in there, man. And like I said, I appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and support and follow Sam. And I appreciate you, man, for your service as always, man. I love you, brother.
No
Uh,
doubt, love you too, man.
and we'll get back to this again in the future. So before we go, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to go ahead and let you all know, as I said, season 4. If you want to advertise on Two Mics Up, we do have advertising. The doors are open. We want to help you expand your footprint and highlight your goods and services here in the community. We're always about trying to create something great. And I really believe that you can't sell if you're not visible. So please take advantage of our online platform. You can contact us via email or on our social media or via the web. Whatever is easiest for you. And I want to say thank you again to our season 3 sponsors: TD3 Insurance, Britick Entertainment, Bubbles and Bruce Philly, and JMI Income Tax. They have all played a huge part in our continued success and growth here at Two Mics Up, just like all of you. And you know how we do, man, at this time, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow Two Mics Up online at www.twomicsup.com. You can follow us across all our social media: IG, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, all at Two Mics Up. And if you haven't done it already, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that bell before you walk out the door. And while you at it, go tell your friends. Come hang out with me, Dame D. Two Mics Up. Like we always do at this time, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out.